How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ben Burnside Show, coming at you from my room in Fresno. I am here for not yet another trailer reaction. This is actually going to be a story that I'm going to read about, a news story that I'm getting off of IGN and their website. It's an article written by a freelance writer that wrote for them for this article. His name is Jordan Oloman. That's spelled Oloman. So go ahead and give him a follow on Twitter. He seems to be a good writer here. So um, he wrote a story that is caught my eye. Bethesda sued for $100 million after alleged internet after alleged intentional sabotage of Rune 2 to protect the Elder Scrolls. So that should be interesting. Let's give this a read. So, courtesy of Jordan Aloman and IGN.com. Publisher Ragnarok Game has amended a lawsuit against Human Head Studios, suing Bethesda for $100 million over its alleged part in an intentional sabotage of Ragnarok's Rune 2 in an attempt to protect the Elder Scrolls franchise. As reported by PC Gamer, I've never heard of PC Gamer before. I'll give them a follow, I guess. The lawsuit was originally filed in December of last year in 2019 and focused on Human Head Studios, who are the original developers of Rune 2. Ragnarok claims that the developers intentionally abandoned the game upon launch and refused to turn over the source code. So the publisher is seeking damages and restitution. Just to be clear, Alexa, what does restitution mean?
Restitution is usually defined as reparation made by giving an equivalent or compensation for loss, damage, or injury caused.
Makes sense.
Indemnification.
Makes,
For more, ask me to give you more definitions for restitution.
makes sense because, makes sense given what we're really talking about here. The reason Bethesda Softworks and ZeniMax Media are now involved in the suit is that Human Head Studios went out of business the day after the game's launch, only to be absorbed by Bethesda and reopened as Roundhouse Studios on the same day. That's interesting. That sucks for Bethesda. You can read the amended complaint here. Maybe I'll get into that in a little bit, which notes that Ragnarok seeks redress for fraud and the intentional sabotage of two video games, Rune 2 and Oblivion Song. Oblivion Song wasn't announced, but it appears to be an adaptation of the popular Robert Kirkman comic book series that was left unfinished when Human Head Studios announced their departure. Rune 2 was maliciously torpedoed in a conspiracy, and this is a quote from Rune 2. Quote, let me just reread it. Quote, Rune 2 was maliciously torpedoed in a conspiracy between the game's developer, desperate for cash, and a large video game conglomerate intent on destroying threats to its own video game franchises, the complaint reads. So wait, who's publishing who? Okay, Ragnarok Game has amended a lawsuit against, Human Head Studios, which is now Bethesda. So, I've heard of Rune 2, but I've never played it. So back to the article. The suit alleges that Human Head contacted Bethesda and ZeniMax, which I guess is also part of the whole group that's being sued, about a potential acquisition without notifying Ragnarok, and later provided the publisher with keys to a pre-release version of Rune 2, which allowed Bethesda to quote, see for themselves the threat that Rune 2 posed to their hit franchise Skyrim/Elder Scrolls. Then 2 weeks prior to Rune 2's launch, ZeniMax allegedly formed Roundhouse Studios and used the company to purchase all of the Human Head's equipment. Whoa, let me reread that part. Then 2 weeks prior to Rune 2's launch, ZeniMax allegedly formed Roundhouse Studios and used the company to purchase all, this is a quote here, to purchase all of Human Head's equipment and take over its leases, which Ragnarok alleges contained trade secrets, source and materials relating to the two games. The complaint also mentions the PR troubles caused by the alleged sabotage, noting that in spite of the game's positive reviews, the next day Ragnarok was faced with headlines about the studio's departure and the wavering future of Rune 2 post-launch. For more on Rune 2, you can check out our preview of the game from 2019, which is just in the article. I'm not going to do that. ZeniMax Media was recently part of a major acquisition, with Bethesda Softworks and Roundhouse Studios brought under the wing of Microsoft in September as part of a $7.5 billion deal, which was a big deal back in September. A really, really big deal in the gaming world. So this is very interesting stuff. Let's read that amended complaint that I saw earlier. If it's too long, we'll see how long it is and if I'll read it or not from that. Oh shit, yeah, this is like a lawsuit. This is a giant lawsuit. I'm not going to read this, but it basically summed it up in the article. So, yeah, this is fucking really long. I'm scrolling through this, and this is like ridiculous. No, I'm not going to read that. Not going to read that. No, thank you. But I basically read what I needed to read here, and yeah, this is pretty interesting, man. I don't know much about codes and stuff like that. I don't know much about the video gaming world to where how I don't have an idea of how harmful this really is to a thing like Ragnarok Games. So that has to be said. But this is going to be interesting. Will this affect Microsoft at all, which has bought Bethesda? So how big of an impact will this be towards Bethesda and their bottom line? That's another question I have towards this. And will this be like devastating, especially during a pandemic? What's the deal there? You know, I have a lot of questions that I don't know as somebody who's not really an expert into the makings of the gaming world. So I really don't know what the deal is here. I will say, though, that it just sucks for Bethesda, because I wonder if they knew about this kind of stuff happening before they just scooped up Human Head Studios. But who knows, really. Rune 2 I never played, honestly, and I probably never am going to play. I just never thought about playing it, but I don't want to see a game get screwed like this if it did. So, we'll see what happens in court. That's what I think I have to say about that. There really isn't much for me to say. I mean, all the details are kind of presented here. I'm not going to read that giant lawsuit. No. But the gist of it's mentioned here. Anything else I feel like mentioning? No, not really. I mean, those are the underlying questions I have, and we'll see what happens in the world of court when this comes out. I was writing a list of videos to do from IGN for the future of this channel, for the very near future, and there were no updates about this lawsuit. And this article was posted about a month and a half ago, so not a whole lot to follow up, but we're in the holidays, so let's see what happens from there, and who knows, maybe something juicy might pop up early next year. Like, who knows, really, though. So it looks like we're getting started in an ugly situation in court, so hopefully this will be hopefully we'll get some updates about this relatively soon. What do you guys think about this whole situation with Bethesda? Do you guys even care? Are you guys interested about it? Do you just want good games to be made and just go from there? Do you not care about this type of news? Let me know in the comments down below of what you think about it overall, and give me your thoughts. I'd love to mesh it out. I'd love to be if you bring up I'd love to get different takes on this, because I'm still relatively new in the gaming world with this kind of information, and I don't really know the significance of this lawsuit and just how big of a deal this is at all, if anything. So please give me your thoughts down below and let me hear your thoughts. And while you're at it, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel while you're at it. And also go ahead and watch my other reactions and YouTube videos on my channel when you have the chance. You won't regret it. Also, you can go ahead and subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Garage Guys Sports Talk. It's a show where I talk about sports with my main man, Jesse Allison, and where we talk about predictions and results, uh, and where we just banter about whatever we want in his garage. It's a lot of fun, so go ahead and check that out if you're a sports fan. You can check out audio versions of that show on Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. And the audio websites have exclusive shows on there if you want to go check those out as well. Those are some of our best shows, so go ahead and check that out if you have the chance as well. Alrighty, guys, until then, don't get in a lawsuit and have a great day. I will catch you on the burn side, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.